A council tasked to study the funding and compliance of county and regional jails in Maine returned with their report this morning in Augusta. They were asked specifically to look into auditing counties reporting information to the Department of Corrections, any assistance the state might have, and more. The report states that just as many counties and towns are running into trouble finding qualified auditors, so are jails. Along with additional funding, the report also requests a position be created to help counties. The report also says the state has provided the same amount of funding, just over $20 million in recent years, while general costs have risen. Also, jail caps were brought forward.
I believe, looking back 4 years, maybe the legislature thought that the state would increase its portion of the jail funding along with that. But if they didn't, and the caps are there and there's no increase, jail costs just keep getting squeezed. So that's what you're seeing in the counties that have exhausted all their reserves. They didn't want to exceed the cap, so they took money that they had in the bank, and they don't have that money anymore. Washington's out, Penobscot's out, Waldo's out.
The council will continue to work on issues and report to the Criminal and Public Safety Committee in the future.